Good evening, House of the Lord family. This is our normal time where we'll have our live stream for our Wednesday Bible study. But back by popular demand, we are doing a book club. This will be 6 weeks. We are going to work through the book Warrior of Eden. When we did the Bait of Satan last year, it was so much positive feedback about it that we decided that why not try this again this year. And I think you're going to really like this book, The Warrior of Eden, where it really talks about a woman's calling within the church. But I think what you will find out is that it's about women, but it's really about all of us. Because if you're married to a woman, if you've been birthed by a woman, if you work with a woman, if you're friends with a woman, it will impact. It has impact on your life.
Sure.
And if you desire to be married to a woman,
That's right.
this is important for you too. So before we get any further, let's go ahead and introduce you to the panel that we have here today. Let's go this way. We'll start with my beautiful bride.
Hey, y'all. It's Lady Elena here. Good to see you and have you. This is going to be excellent. This is one of the books that was gifted to me, and it's so good to be able to share it with everyone else. So this is going to be amazing.
Amen. Amen.
Hi, my name is Kara Ford. I'm married to Brandon Ford. I'm excited about going through this book, and I have questions. I have conflict maybe sometimes, and I'm excited to learn.
Yay.
Hello, everyone. Brandon Ford. This is my wife. Just excited to dive into the book. I'm curious to hear from the men, really, about their experience in reading it.
All right. To my
Hi,
left.
I am Tammy Jackson, married to Pastor Antonio Jackson. Duly noted by my friend and Pastor Angie. This is definitely a stretch for me, but nonetheless, here I am. I am excited for the book, and I too have questions and some conflicts and some Let's go.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Pastor Antonio Jackson, pastor over the men's ministry. So I'm representing, like Brandon said, the men. How does the men interact with this? There are conflicts in here. I do struggle with reading this book, and maybe it's time for me to be updated to what the Lord is saying.
Hallelujah.
And see, that's why you all were selected. It's very intentional.
Oh, my goodness.
Because
Oh, my goodness.
Pastor Antonio is the pastor over the men's ministry, but the Fords give leadership to our couples ministry. So there's very much some intentionality, although we love them both. There's some intentionality because of the ministries that they're in, why you all were selected. So this book actually came as a recommendation from my wife, Lady Elena. She said it was gifted to her, and she said you should read it. And I finished the book before she did.
Wow.
I picked
Wait a minute.
No, what I'm saying, it's not to throw shade. I'm just saying I dove into it and I couldn't get out of it.
Yes.
Because it was written to women, but it was really like speaking to me.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of challenging me. It was pushing me. It was making me uncomfortable. It was around the time I was preparing my sermon for Mother's Day.
Okay.
Where I preached a sermon on when she speaks and the power of a woman's voice. So it was the timing of it. I would have to say was divine timing. And so as a result of that, I read the book and I was like, you know what? I really think our next book club would be this, because I could really see how if I had encountered this information being single, how this would have been really somewhat of a head start. In terms of some of our interaction. There's probably, I know one thing I said for sure that I'm pretty sure my wife is going to bring up that I would not have said if I had read if I had read this before I got married. So it's definitely something that's impactful for singles, but then also as men who we have to go through this world, interacting with women and trying to be the best man we can be that context. So that's one thing I want to stress. This is for everyone. Another reason why I selected couples is because the dynamics are intensified. I actually did some research on it and found some some support for that from some psychologists and sociologists. And they really talk about intimacy and vulnerability is dynamics that are relational, that are heightened within a marriage, that kind of bring the difference between how men and women interact, how it makes it more intense. Conflict resolution is another one, and dependency and support is another area within relationships where the male-female dynamics is actually intensified within the context of marriage. So that's the reason behind picking couples. So before we go any further, let's get some initial thoughts. Sure. You know, I don't know how far you're in, if you're reading, just, you know, as we're, you know, preparing to have these sessions, but what are some initial thoughts, maybe like one thought and a question, to kind of get this conversation, get this party started?
Who wants to go first? I want to hear from Miss Tammy and Miss Kara, because I know you guys had some conflict. I would love to hear from you guys, if you don't mind. Anybody want to start?
Go for it.
So when I started the book, when I opened the book and I started reading it, I told Brandon, I was like, I am so excited to hear about a woman being a warrior, because I feel like I grew up with women being the helpmate, which I felt was wonderful, but limiting. So it made it where I felt like I could only go as far as my husband went. And I could not necessarily have my dreams. I needed to help him with his dreams and his passion, and make sure that, you know, if there were things that he was lacking or missing, I was the one to help him with those things. So I was excited about it being a warrior, and then I became a little bit disappointed because she wasn't giving me answers, full direct answers. But I haven't read it all. So I mean, I've read maybe like 7, 8 chapters. So I haven't read it all. So I don't know what the ending is. But thinking about it earlier today, I'm still excited, because in my mind, the thing of a warrior is more than just a helpmate. Because to me, a warrior is a person that is behind you sometimes, say behind my husband, to help him, to help push him along, to help where he's missing in places, but also to be beside him, to, you know, walk beside him in our family, in our work, in our household, but also to be in front of him sometimes, to actually help him like fight these battles, so he doesn't have to fight some battles, you know, and to maybe go to the left or go to the right, because that's maybe my dream, to do that, and then he comes behind me also as my helpmate, also as my warrior.
That's good.
So that's what I'm excited about.
That is fantastic, and really, it really picks up because really underneath, and I think we're going to talk about it next week, is there's this idea of mutual submission that's a part of understanding the Ezer being a warrior. But then as the male, there's also, even if you bring in kind of a broader biblical perspective, there's a notion of like mutual submission, which is that kind of that picture you gave of sometimes we're in front, sometimes we're behind. And to kind of add to it, I'll reference, it was a conversation I had with Bishop over a decade ago. And he told me that a pastor's ministry is circumscribed by their spouse. So the ministry that, whether it's a man or a woman that's the pastor, their ministry can only really grow to the limit of their spouse.
Sure.
So that really shows like that in this dynamic of the role of Ezer, a lot of times people are looking to me thinking like this church can grow as much as I can handle. It really can only grow as much as she can handle.
Sure.
Because she circumscribes it.
Sure.
But go ahead.
Well, coming from the South and the relationships that impacted my life, being able to see my aunts and my uncles, a suitable helper was always behind.
Sure.
And then you grow up and you start to get like a feel of what this life could be like with you as more than just from behind. You come to the church and then you hear about staying in your lanes, you know, your lane, you know, and surely the woman's lane was not to the front, to the side, but to the back. So you wonder, how can you lead from the back? You can't. And so the first thing that Antonio and I talked about, the word warrior was a red flag for him because, and I'm like, heck yeah, let's do this. Let's take this thing on. You know, let's fight about this. You know, let's get it going. You know, but he's like, well, everything is not a fight, but it is. And so I was looking for in the book for her to, what's the word, to amen that.
Okay.
But I felt like it was more of a back pedal, and then she led to, and with you, I only got up to like chapter 8, and I did see, you know, where we can walk beside. And it stated that we circumcise this thing if our spouses or the ones that we're helping wants us there at that point.
Okay.
We can be a suitable helper, but how much will they allow us to help? So a lot of the pushback, I feel sometimes, don't come from us putting the brakes on it. It comes from us being believed that coming from under here.
Sure.
We got to be able to come, we have to have permission to come from under here and be who God has called us to be.
Right, right. And one of the things that, honestly, the book was a red flag. The name was a red flag for me initially.
Sure.
But like, I'm the kind of person, I want to interact with things I don't always agree with.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's
I
right.
felt
That's right.
like the older I got, the older I get, the more I realize like how much I need to still kind of learn in this space.
Okay.
So it was a red flag initially, but that was also kind of what led me to it,
That's good. That's good.
to want to read it. Let's hear from this. Do you want to go before we jump to the fellas?
Oh, I love this.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
All right, let's get this. One of you two.
Okay, I'll go. Just like what you said and what she mentioned, that the word warrior was a red flag for me. I'm 58 years old, and I'm not looking for a fight. And right, and that's real. And in the African American community, the black woman is portrayed as that argumentative, ready to fight it. And so that's the red flag. I'm not looking for a fight. So my first thought is she's fighting me, a warrior and eating. And I don't know. Even if Adam was looking for a fight, what was he fighting? So that was my perspective. But what both of you said that I love, she's not giving any definite answer. She's not saying this is the truth. She's writing a book posed on hundreds of different questions, and you answer that question how it fits in your life. So that's what I'm getting. Disagreement. I have never read a book that I got 4 different highlight colors. I really do. Things I greatly agree with and things. So I got like 4 different colors that I'm highlighting. Now this is good material that's challenging. That I need to be expanded because I'm married to a beautiful woman.
I think for me, when I read really the first chapter and was listening to the definition of Ezer, and so my initial reaction was like, yep, that's my wife. Yep, that's her. That's her. I mean,
Right.
when you think about, or when I think about our relationship, we both work outside the home, but we adopted a lot of traditional roles. Despite that, I think we've started, as our children have gotten older, to rethink those roles and what they look like. But despite all of that, Kara has always fought for our family.
Okay, that's good.
With a fierceness that sometimes intimidates me.
That's good.
Right,
you know,
right,
but,
right.
but
That's
in a
good.
good way. Fighting for the kids to make sure that they have what they need, that they are properly represented
That's
in our
good.
community. You know, she fought alongside me when I was running. You know, she's always been, in my view, a
That's
warrior
good.
for the family.
That's good.
I never really looked at her as, or the book initial reaction as, I wasn't looking for a fight either, of course,
right.
but I was thinking almost of a protector.
Okay.
That was my kind of initial reaction coming
That's
out.
good.
That's good.
I'm glad you brought up like the stereotypical, because we've been socialized
Yes, sir.
to view black women in a particular way that even takes us back to slavery.
Yeah.
And black men have been viewed in a particular way that takes us back to slavery. So I'm glad you brought that up, because there is some baggage that we can easily kind of bring to this book that isn't even our own, but was put on us because it was done to control us.
That's good. Yeah, that's right on point. Yeah.
And you know, so it's actually kind of interesting because the author does not look like us, so she's not even bringing those same
No.
Right.
those same presumptions or assumptions
Right.
into her writing,
Right.
but it's causing us to have to wrestle
Yeah.
with things that have been put on us as being, you know, ancestors of people who were stolen and brought to this country.
Come on. Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
So you.
Oh, I'll hop in there. I love everybody. I love this kind of stuff. I love how you guys are like tussling.
Yes.
You're wrestling with the fact that I see it this way, but I just don't quite understand. And that's the mystery of God, of how he wants us to wrestle and tussle. But also, I am so gung-ho. I am pro, like, what we about to do. Like, that's what we're doing. And when I read this book, it actually, because I had some curiosity of why. I'm a woman who, I'm a mama bear.
There we go.
I am a woman who wants to go side by side, what we doing. And I think what I loved, from the little bit that we are going over just now, is that she's just saying, just put her in the game.
That's the key.
Don't
Yeah.
stop benching our woman. Put her in the game. Like, we talk about basketball all the time, but we talk about, you know, there's positions in basketball. You have centers, you have forwards, all those things. And there could be a female and a male that could dominate.
That's right.
But you are afraid to put her in the game.
That's right.
And I love that. She's like, just put her in the game. Like, let's get
Right.
let's do this for the kingdom. So I love that.
That's
I
good.
love that.
I remember, and even this book kind of gave me some frame of reference. I remember a number of years ago, Lady Elena, she had went to, what was it called? Women Evolve.
Oh my.
With Sarah
Yes.
Jakes.
If y'all, Yes.
And I think she might have went like the first year, because she went like 2 or 3
I
years
went
in a row.
3 times in a row.
And I mean,
Pregnant and all.
yeah, she was.
Oh,
I mean, through
it
the
was
airport,
amazing.
just. But
It was great.
but the thing about it, I think, as a man, not even just a married man, but I think this is something that all men have to be aware of, is that, like, when I'll never forget, like, her first time coming back, Ezra started to kind of show.
Okay.
And so at that moment, I had to make a choice to how do I engage this, right? Like, do I try to like lean into it? Do I fight it? Do I encourage it?
Yeah.
Do I ignore it?
I don't see anything. I don't see.
But I started to see, but at the time I didn't have the words for it.
Okay.
I just knew that to be cliche, she was evolving. And like,
So good.
but it was something I had to figure out. And I think kind of in hindsight, in the moment, I didn't have this book and just had to kind of just take it day by day. But I guess I'll say, kind of throw it out there to talk, like, one, from a I want to hear from the women. Like, one, is there a moment where you kind of can see yourself or remember like wanting to kind of step into that space, where you feel that warrior kind of coming out that may have been, like you said, you didn't see it growing up, but then as you got older, like, was it a time? Was it, looking at your daughters, you know what I mean, and thinking about like how your daughters went through it? Was it a time where you're like, you know what? Gotta let some of this out. And then for the guys that are here, like, how did you recognize it?
Yeah.
And what was kind of your gut reaction to that?
Is there marriage
I
counseling
know,
after
right. As soon as we're done, we're going over here.
this? Will there be counseling for marriages after this before we
We are not
respond?
licensed marriage and family.
No, we are not. Yeah.
You are listening to
boy.
this at your own responsibility. Do not try this at home.
No one wants to answer.
Let me say this.
I went first. Like,
As a man, and she talks about going down south, her family's from the south. I enjoy going down south with her family because men can just sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing.
You right.
They say, Tammy, go get your husband a plate. Tammy, go get your husband something to drink. Tammy, go. I'm like, wow, I can I can sit back and enjoy. And so there is a major shift in our culture. And you said that you went to the women's conference, Evolve. She started to attend Pastor Kathy's Bible studies on Thursday. I don't know, about 30-something years ago, if it was that long ago. And like you said, I've seen a difference. Pastor Kathy gave her a voice. Hey, what happened to that Southern woman I met? And she started just doing things. And Tammy's not a fighter. Tammy doesn't fight me. She doesn't.
Wait a minute.
She's not a fighter, but she wants things done right. And I respect that. So like you said, so you start questioning, how do I respond? And I never saw her as a warrior, though. So even as somebody mentioned a mother bear, I don't think a mother bear wants to start a fight. But if you mess with her children, she's going to step into it. So later in the book, she talked about women being sustainers and nurturers. So like, if you mess with mine, I'm going to show you how I will respond. And that's who Tammy is. Tammy, like you said, I'm going to use the word fight because you used it. Tammy fought for our daughters all through Akron Public Schools. I'm sorry. And universities and everywhere else our children went. And that's what's needed, to let the women into the game. As you think of some of the better basketball players, they make other people better. And I think that's what our women do. Who can step into this, they can make their husbands better. And so that's what
If it's received.
If
If it's received.
Yeah.
So there was an incident at Elliott High School,
she
and there was a lockdown, and they said that there was a shooter in there.
Oh, God.
Mama Bear.
Well, it didn't
Yeah.
make sense to me
Mama Bear
that
right
the
here.
shooter is in there and you locked down my children in there.
Right, right.
So I went up to the school and eyes got the rolling. I said, they come out or I go in. So which one do you prefer? Either one is fine with me.
Period.
And so the cop is at the door. He's saying, you cannot come in here. I said, okay, so that means they're coming out to me. And so he says, no. And then the secretary came to the door and she said, just let her in, let her in. So I go in, and to this day, this cop will see me. He's like, you are one mean, short black man, which is fine, I am not going to start a fight, but I am going to be able to get you off of me. I will be able to do that. And I don't mind that. But The reason why I would say that my husband doesn't see me as a fighter is because it's stifled. I think that our spouses at times, depending on who you are, your background, where you came from, it will make him uncomfortable.
Sure.
And I would back it off. But Lord help me if I'm by myself and I ain't stifled,
Right.
She getting in that
it's
bit.
full go. I am in the game. I'm in the game.
I like how you said like in the game. It made me think about you had mentioned Brandon that you guys adopted certain roles, and I think part of like being in the game is allowing people to choose their role,
Yep. Yep.
to not assigning them or telling them, yeah, you could be in the game, but you know, you're a sub. You're gonna play about 6 minutes, and here's the play.
Yeah.
So come on in, but you follow the play,
Yeah.
and you're in for this long. But allowing them to not just be in the game, but kind of choose how they participate in the game.
Sure.
But go ahead, let's see what you guys. Back to the original question.
So we have 2 sons. So we have 2 sons. And I have him. So it's a male-dominated house. And so yes, we did start off as very traditional roles like I cook, I clean, I'm the nurturer of the children,
Sure.
especially until they become, I guess, teenagers, and then he takes over more of the things. He works, he makes more. He's, the financial provider of our family. So we agreed to that, and then I think, I don't know, I mean, I've always worked, and then I think, I don't know, sometime in the last, like, maybe, 5 or so years, I'm like, this is too much. I cannot cook, I cannot work a full-time job, plus, exercise, plus, do stuff with the boys, plus, when he was traveling all the time, a lot. I cannot cook, I cannot clean, I cannot, every single day, you don't want leftovers, et cetera, et cetera. It was too much, and I'm like, I cannot do all this, so I need you to help me. So he was like, what can I do? And I was like, okay, well, you can maybe cook 2 times a day. You can, I mean, he's always been involved with the boys, like with transporting them or, doing stuff with them. But can you also, I don't know, take over when I ask you to, clean something or I don't know, whatever. But so he's taken over that. But I think sometimes we as the woman need to show our husband when we are telling them something and they don't listen, but then they listen like every once in a while. Sometimes I tell them something, I'm like, this is what you should do in your job, or this is what you should do maybe, this is what I see, this is my vision, I guess this is my dream of our next step in our relationship or our next season, and I tell it to him, he doesn't hear me. Then a male tells it to him, he hears it. And then he's like, oh, he told me this. He told me I need to do this. Yeah, Brandon, I told you that like 3 months ago, or I told you that a year ago. Like, oh, well, I mean, maybe you can address why you do that sometimes. But so as the stifling, sometimes I'm like, I don't want to tell you some things because you're not going to receive it from me. You're going to have to receive it sometimes from a male because you're not going to hear it from me. Even though I believe that I am educated and I'm smart, I think sometimes the male doesn't hear it from the female. Like one of my sons, he told me, a couple weeks ago or months ago, he's like, I want to be smart. I'm smarter than my girlfriend. I want to always be smarter than my girlfriend. I want to be smarter than my wife. I'm like, why? Why? I don't get that concept because I'm a smart mom. I'm an educated mom. I help your father. When he's weak or doesn't know, about something, I am the one that helps our family. So why would you ever want someone who is not as smart or if not smarter than you. You know, put them in the game.
Sure.
They can
Yeah.
win the game for you.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that's the game.
Yes, put them in the game.
What was the question again?
It was how did you when let's say when Kara had a moment or moments where she began to kind of step into that Ezra, let the Ezra out. How did you navigate
Yeah,
that?
I think I didn't know it was called Ezra back then, but I think I knew that she was a fighter and a warrior right when we were engaged. We had a situation come up in between our engagement and when we got married that dealt with our family. And she just kind of came out of the blocks like, nope, this is not how this is going to go down.
Okay.
This is he with me. That's mine.
Ooh, my girl, I love that.
So, and I was just like, well, I'm just gonna sit over here. Talk to her, right? So she's always kind of been a warrior, even though I never really labeled it that way. And even in a lot of the little things that she does, making like she does grocery shopping for us, but she meticulously plans
Okay. That's
the
good.
grocery shopping
That's good.
for me. She's just not running to the store and it's like, I'm going to grab whatever suits my fancy and we'll figure it out. You know, she goes with a budget and a plan and a list, a bunch of lists, right? About how she is going to prepare food and things like that for our home. You know, and I keep coming back to this because I guess I'm looking at this banner over here, Jehovah Elohim with the lion. And I think I read somewhere in a lion pack, the lioness is the hunter,
Yeah, that's good. Mhm.
right? So I just think about her in that role.
Okay.
She is the hunter. She's out providing
Oh, that's good.
in a lot of ways for our family, different than the way that I provide. But I think I settled into it probably from that moment that, okay, she's a fighter and I'm going to have my hands full in a good way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to have my hands full
That's good.
nonetheless.
Awesome.
good.
So what about your Ezra moment, or when? Because like I said, I started to see it
Several
when
Ezras.
I started to see. It's been several, I would agree, but I started to kind of see the first inklings of it
Yeah.
when you came back from Women Evolve.
Yes, let me tell y'all, Women Evolve. Women Evolve is, if you're interested, is Sarah Jakes Roberts, okay? The girl is bad, okay, she's good. But at the same time, she's not my God.
Okay.
But she really she pulls something out of you. So what I would say, it started there. But there was a lot of things that I had to do deep inside myself that I had to answer to. I've been running away, y'all, from the call. Running.
Okay.
From the call of minister, whatever the Lord says, y'all. Whatever the Lord says. I'll keep that. We'll see what the Lord says. But I've been running away from it for so long, I got tired. Pastor Darren talked about in one of his sermons this past Sundays ago, where he just talked about of just walking into, it's tiring to be someone you're not.
Okay. Okay.
It was tiring. I'm a church girl.
Yep.
I'm old, just old, and I'm just playing. But I love to encourage. I love to do that, and I was tired of it. And the Lord was like, I created you so how I created you wasn't enough?
That's good.
So I had to say yes to that. I said, oh my gosh, okay, you good, okay, all right. So when I noticed that was during COVID, and I came to Darren, and the Lord just told me clearly, stop running away, answer to it, quickly say yes. And I quickly said yes because now I'm free.
Amen.
Now what
That's
you guys see, I'm loud, I'm just me, and
That's
I'm
good.
okay with that.
That's good.
So that's when I noticed it was several times for Women Evolve, but it was a lot of deep work.
That's good.
It was a lot of quiet yeses. It's a lot of not even stifling, because I struggle with that because I was stifling. I had a moment of being muted. I didn't want that. I hear from God too.
That's right.
So at the same time, I'm like, no, bro, we're gonna work through this together. And so that was around 2020 is when I accepted the call of being a minister and whatever God has for me. I truly believe that it's something bigger than I could imagine, because the fight is hard. But other than that, that's when I noticed. But it's so cool to see yourself. And when I go home, y'all, this is a funny thing. I'm gonna tell y'all a story. So my family on both sides, we have pastors, we have ministers. Both of my grandparents have their own churches, and they pastored for over 30 years, y'all. And then I have uncles, I have everybody in the church. And when I came home, my uncle noticed something different. He said, huh. Did you, something different about you? And I said, what do you mean? He said something in the words, what did he say?
I don't remember.
He said something in the words of, did you say yes?
Or like,
Did
you
you
said yes, huh?
You said yes, huh? Or something like that.
Because the way it sounded like your grandfather. 'Cause
It did.
Her
That's how my
grandfather had a way of
granddad.
like saying stuff but not saying it.
Yeah.
Like he told, to give you an example, not to cut you off, but to help them understand. Like
yeah.
her grandfather one time told me, he said, what do you do with scrambled eggs since you can't unscramble them?
Ah, dog.
And I was like, I don't know. He said, you eat them. But like, that meant a lot, because I see all these times now in my life where like, I done
Yeah.
scrambled these eggs. I got to figure out what this But anyways, so that's how
Yeah.
our uncle said it in like that kind of way.
In that kind of way, and he looked at me and he said, I got plenty of books, whatever you need,
That's good.
let's go.
That's good.
And then I shared with the rest of the family, and they knew it.
Okay. Okay.
They were just waiting for me. That's tough. So that's when it was around 2020 when I really said, you know, I am who I am. It's like you stepped out of something, and now I can't be stopped. I can't.
He's coming.
The Lord has called. I'm not going to be disobedient.
Amen.
That's awesome. I had I intentionally, as the conversation was going, I was going to kind of state our subject up front.
Yeah.
And as the conversation was going, I decided to kind of hold it back because we're going to wrap up now.
Yeah.
And the subject really was how curiosity and questions lead us to understanding God.
Yes.
And I think listening to all of our comments, we see the constant role of curiosity.
Right.
Everyone has stayed curious about
I love it.
how does this work? How do I live this out? How do I respond to this?
Yeah.
How do I help this? How do I
love
support this? How do I not? In that curiosity, the understanding is coming from God.
Yes.
And we're also kind of understanding God in a different way as we remain curious.
Yeah.
So I decided to hold this subject to the end because that is my challenge, not just for us, but for everyone tuning in as we get into this book. Let us stay curious.
Yep.
Let us stay curious about trying to gain a better understanding of God through this process, and through that understanding, for the women that are watching, for them to be curious about what does their role of Ezer look for them, because Ezer is not all, because a woman was an Ezer before she was a wife.
Yep.
When God said, I need to create a suitable helper for man, that was before the wedding vows that we hear a few verses
That's
later,
right.
when
Yeah.
he said,
Yeah.
you know, for this reason, let a man leave his house, his mother and father, and they should cleave, become. Those are like the wedding vows.
Right.
But the role of a woman being an Ezer, it comes before her role as being a wife.
That's good.
Which means that as men, for us to be able to stay curious about how we can appreciate that.
That's right.
And how do we allow that to be beneficial is bigger than our role as husbands. Because even as we interact with women, as we do ministry or do work, it's about, if you understand that, and stay curious about how that plays out, it will actually benefit us in all different areas of our life. Whether it's a coworker that you don't quite understand how to get, but if you could begin to kind of see it through that lens, you might be able to realize, like, hold on, if I navigate this a little differently, I might have closed that sale last month. If I wasn't so sure that I had to do the pitch. But if I would have let this person kind of flow in what seemed like they could and allow myself to kind of decrease, I might have actually closed that deal or whatever it is. So my challenge to all of us, one, this is bigger than marriage. That's why I wanted to put couples here, because as we see the dynamics pulls it out. But the reality of it is bigger than our role as husband and wife.
Absolutely.
This ties back to who we are as men and women.
That's good.
And so that is my challenge for all of us, to stay curious as we continue to take this journey. And to your point, there aren't a whole lot of clear-cut answers. But I think the raw materials are there for us to figure out how this plays out in our own lives, in our own context. So to give, before I let us go, I'm going to give a preview of Coming Attraction. Next week, we're going to begin to deal with not just move from curiosity, but discerning the voice of God. And how we even touched on this, how do we discern God's voice in our calling? And how does that flow into that identity? So thank you guys for your yes. To be a part of this, and I know our church is blessed by you saying yes to this. So may the grace of God be with you. God bless you, and come back next week for session 2.